Hi, welcome to Tea and Mystics. Today I'm going to be discussing Simone Weil's Letter to a Priest while sipping on some ginger turmeric tea. Simone Weil is a philosopher and political and religious thinker who was born in 1909 in France. She is also considered to be a mystic because she had multiple mystical experiences during her life. Simone Weil herself was born into a non-practicing Jewish family, but one of the things that's interesting is that her religious experiences, her mystical experiences, drew her towards the Christian faith. And this book in itself is it's very short. And it is a long letter that she composed to a priest who lived in New York City. And it really delves into some of her thoughts on the Christian faith, her thoughts on the role of the church within the Christian and specifically in this case Catholic faith, and a lot of the issues that she had with the church and some of the dogma of the church, and her questions about Christianity and the way to live a Christian life. While Simone Weil considered herself to be a Christian, in the end she always stayed one that was outside of the church. She decided not to get baptized because she didn't want to necessarily be a part of the institution of the church, and she had a lot of questions and disagreements with some of the theology that was being taught at the time. Simone Weil herself is really a fascinating figure in history, a fascinating philosophical thinker, and I really love reading her work. I always find I get a lot out of it, but I think if you were just going to start with Simone Weil, you may want to start with something that's small like this, Letter to a Priest, because she is a challenging writer to read, and you will get hit with parts where you're just so fully in agreement with her, and she's, saying things that you may have long thought and haven't ever articulated as well. But then she'll also sometimes have parts where you don't agree with it, but you really have to sit and think about what parts you agree with, what parts you don't agree with. She challenges you as a reader, and again with this, she's challenging the priest in a lot of ways that she is writing to, and I really appreciate that about her writing, that it challenges me and it really forces me to have to sit and think things through, and sometimes just a passage that you've read by her will stay with you for days that you're just mulling over. One of the things she highlights in the letter that I truly appreciate is that she believes, like I believe, that there wasn't just one revelation that shared religious and mystical truths, that you can see it throughout history and in different places around the world. So she brings that up in the letter. She definitely condemns a lot of the activities of the church throughout history, but within it still she has a deep belief and faith in Jesus and the symbol of Jesus on the cross. I think underlying her philosophical and religious belief is that true love is a sacrificial love. So the ultimate example of it is, for instance, Jesus dying on the cross. She's just a really fascinating thinker to deal with, and I think reading her expands your own mind, and that you learn a lot from her, as I said, with what you agree with and also then parts that you don't agree with. And she is, again, challenging to read, and some of her other works, they're a lot more dense, so sometimes it's good to start small when you're going to approach a new thinker that maybe you haven't read before. And I think that Letter to a Priest can be a really good initiation into Simone Weil's thought if you're interested in her more mystical and religious thought. Today I'm sipping on ginger turmeric tea from Citizen Tea. I shared a little brief review of this tea in a previous video, and I'll link down below. I'm just really gotten into the habit of trying to drink my ginger turmeric tea at least once a day, and today I was just feeling like I needed some of that ginger wake up, and some of my allergies are acting up, so it's perfect time to drink it. Thanks so much for tuning in to Tea and Mystics. Cheers!